Hey, Gemini, Intuitive Soul Coach here with your February 2024 bonus reading. Welcome back to my channel if you are returning, and welcome if you are new. These are general readings. Please take what resonates and leave the rest behind. If you're interested in a personal reading, signing up for the monthly newsletter, or entering into the free reading giveaway, you can find all of that information in the description box below the video. All right, welcome. Gemini, bottom of the deck, you have blessed here. You certainly are blessed. Some of you could be seeing some unexpected turnarounds, some unexpected givings as well, miracles. I'm also getting, there's something you're receiving that's coming towards you in the month of February. This is a really beautiful energy. You've been flexible. That's why this is showing up here. Card 19 is the sun. This is about you being able to be flexible to what shows up in your world, how to work with the energies, how to work with the changes. Now, I'm getting a song here. Whew, this is a song I haven't heard in quite some time. Matchbox 20. I wish the real world would just stop hassling me. So some of you, that song or those lyrics could resonate, Matchbox 20. I might have to go listen to some Rob Thomas now. But there is an energy here of shifts, changes coming about. Now, in this bonus reading, we're going to take a look at purpose. Whether it's what's the purpose of this situation you're going through, this relationship, this job. It can be life purpose as well. So please take it as it resonates. So you're starting off here with the time to go, Gemini. There is something here that you are being guided to move away from or to walk towards. Now this is interesting because Taurus also received this card underneath the deck. So some of you could be riding that Taurian cusp, or you may have some strong Taurus placements in your chart, especially if you have a Taurus as a north node. You may want to check that reading out as well. Now, time to go. You are being guided to make some big changes, and it may mean closing the door on one situation in order to open yourself up to something new. And because you're also showing up in the yin energy, yin is receptive, it is feminine. I feel like this is about you receiving some of these blessings. And that may be difficult for you to walk away from a situation. And it's so interesting because a lot of times this time to go reminds me very strongly of the Eight of Cups. And like I just explained in Taurus's reading, we can look at it one of two ways. We can look at it as what we're leaving behind. We can constantly at times be looking over our shoulders, or we can tell ourselves, what are we walking towards? Right? Is it more of maybe a pessimistic or optimistic mindset? Is it excitement for the future, or is it still grieving loss for the past? So some of you could be choosing, and you could be oscillating between the two as well, leaving behind something and there's still a grieving process going on for you, Gemini. And for others of you, I feel like you are ready to walk towards this new beginning here, and you're open to receiving the blessings that the divine and the universe have for you. And this could be showing up in the form of, a new job, a relationship. It could also be something internal. And that's what I feel for a lot of you this is. Look at this. You have the happy card. Because you are remaining flexible in how something shows up or how you perceive it, you're going to be really happy that you stayed open to some of the changes and that you kept your heart open. I'm hearing that as well for some of you. A lot of blessings coming in for you this month. Now, middle of the reading here, you have to be fair. This is the Libran justice scales, okay? Some of you, there may have been a karmic experience or situation that you needed to go through, or it could have been a lesson between you and another. It could have been a soul contract with a person, with a job, with a business, or any other area of your life. But the to be fair card is all about balance. It's about reciprocity, and that justice energy can be about truth and fairness. What is true for you? Okay, are you living and walking and talking and breathing your truth? Because if not, that's what you are moving towards here, Gemini. So there could have been a situation in the past that was very imbalanced. It may have been, again, a karmic relationship or a karmic contract. And I feel not that you were being dishonest about your path, not at all, but it may have felt that in the midst of it, some sort of betrayal or dishonesty or something muddied the energy that caused you or another person to exit because you've learned all that you've needed to learn here. Now with this yin energy, again, this is the feminine aspect. This is opening up to the new possibilities. This is about receiving as well. So it's not that you're going chasing something here, okay? We don't want to chase. We don't want to run after it. It's almost as if you are ascending your energy and you're choosing to stand in some sort of equilibrium, some sort of balance, some sort of fairness or truth to oneself. And once you make that decision, it's almost as if the universe opens up and you start to see these opportunities entering into your realm. So let's take it a step further here and take a look at your energy. We'll look at your weakness, your strength. We'll look at the current situation. Okay, we start off, and this is so interesting, and we're going to take both of them here. This is your energy, the Three of Coins and the Temperance. So I do see here that you've had to be patient around a situation. Patience is required for you at this time when it comes to building some new tiers in your life, new building blocks in your life. Okay, we're just going to get all the cards out here for you. Yeah, there's the Seven of Swords. So something along the lines of honesty or getting honest with yourself about what you need, or honest about maybe moving towards a new situation. Okay, bottom of the deck, Five of Cups. So you're still healing from some sort of loss. So no wonder you're oscillating between the time to go. But I feel like you've given yourself the time, you've given yourself the opportunity to grieve and to reflect and to analyze. And this can be about healing something that was disappointing, something that did feel broken, or maybe this is about bitterness, forgiveness. And I feel like this is also about you allowing yourself to kind of simmer in some sort of pain, but then heal from it and move on from it. And that's kind of where I see you going. And that's why you have the Blessed card. And you're going to see some abundance and blessings and miracles coming in. Maybe you don't see them quite yet because they're underlying. They're in the bottom of the deck here. But I feel because you've been putting in the time, you will see some shifts happening here for you. All right, so looking at your energy, you have a sense of building a new foundation, but there's an impatience that rides along with it. The Temperance is showing up here in reverse. So perhaps, and these two cards came out together, and this is interesting because in order to build a foundation, it does require patience. And when we want to skip corners, when we want to rush things along, it tends to bring back lessons because we can trip up, we can miss things. We don't always soak up the entirety of a lesson that we are here to learn. And so the Temperance card showing up for you as well, Major Arcana, Sag energy. This is about extremes possibly in behaviors. And that may be why we have the scales, because it may feel imbalanced within, what is it that I want? One day it feels like I'm way up here in this pendulum, and the next day it's swinging over here. So I am getting you oscillating and going back and forth. Do I want to stay in this situation? Can I heal this anymore? Do I move on? How can I grow and build myself without losing myself as well? And there was some sort of recklessness that came into play, and this is you. So again, if there was a situation that maybe you rushed into, or perhaps you were impatient, so you said something, you did something, or you didn't do something for that matter, I feel like it may have prolonged you stepping into a new energy, but you're getting there. And I see with this Temperance card showing up, this is literally the card of, angelic presence and blessings, which we do see here showing up. So when we can be more patient with ourselves, when we can build more trust, I mean, look at that Temperance card. She also has balance and the angel wings behind it. And she's on a tightrope there. And she is taking her time, but she's also done something a million times. She's walked on that tightrope. That's not her first rodeo, Gemini. This isn't the first time that she has walked that tightrope. If it was, she probably would have already fell, right? And you have already fell. I'm getting here like a fall from grace. You fell many, many different times, but you're coming to this point in your journey where you have mastered a lesson, you've learned a lesson, and now it's time for you to move on. Okay, whatever this may be for you, because you're building a foundation. You are making progress on your soul's journey. So when it comes to purpose, right, it is about knowing when to hang on to situations, right? When to hang on and when to let go. So that is a big, vital piece of your reading today when we're clarifying what's the purpose of all of this. It can be attachments. It can be about trusting in the process instead of feeling like it's in our timing. And maybe that's why you also have the flexibility card showing up here as well. You are very blessed. And I'm hearing also another song, a lot of music. Some of you could be listening to a lot of music. Some of you could be getting messages, signs, synchronicities, or other people could be sending you songs. I'm getting Knock, Knock, Knockin' on Heaven's Door. Zeppelin, I believe. Knocking on heaven's door. And maybe that's because, Temperance angel here as well with the blessed, which is also angelic. So maybe some of you, there's a loved one that's been trying to get your attention, or if you've been working with ancestors here, knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. All right. I also see with the 3 of coins here, this being your energy, there were some lessons that may have felt very redundant or very repetitive in your life. But the reason why, and we'll also take a look at the main lessons to be learned, but the reason why they were repetitive or they kept showing up is because, again, sometimes we, as souls having this human experience, we want to bypass pain, right? We want to bypass the hard work sometimes. But what you're understanding, you're realizing is I can't bypass it. I can't numb it. I can't make things happen faster than they're willing to happen. I can't slow down time. I have to just be present in everyday moments, right? And continue to climb and learn, because you can see that she's stepping on these books. These books represent knowledge that turns into wisdom. And that's exactly what the Temperance teaches you as well. All right, let's take a look at your weakness. Ace of Cups. Ooh, okay. Ace of Cups. Sometimes your weakness can be needing to tune into your emotions, Gemini. With you being a strong air placement, I get it. I'm a Libra sun sign. This is sometimes about dropping into our heart and filling our own cup. Okay, sometimes we focus so much on either overthinking things or trying to communicate in a better way or trying to rationalize or logically think of a situation. Sometimes your weakness can even be the emotions getting in the way and we don't know how to quite speak them or process them. Even though you're an air sign and you're very great at communication, sometimes we get tripped up over our emotions and we don't know how to speak them. We don't know how to talk about them in the way that we're feeling. Okay, so when the Ace of Cups shows up as a weakness, this can be gaining the emotional introspection required in order to move forward. Maybe that's what's holding you back as well. Maybe your emotional tie to a situation keeps you hostage, right? And that's why we see the 5 of Cups here, because it keeps you focused on maybe the past, maybe the energy of, well, there's love, or I love doing this, or this is where my heart's at, so I need to stay. So can we find that balance? And it's interesting because I just seen a meme the other day and this represents it beautifully. The head says, you can't do that, or don't do that, or that doesn't logically make sense, or that's a belief, right? And then the heart says, oh, but trust me, move forward, move in that direction. And then the soul comes in and says, would you two just be quiet? And if you're quiet enough, you'll know that I'll lead the way, right? So it's kind of interesting because sometimes you may feel like you have a head over heart battle. And when that happens, we need to kind of put the emotions, we need to put the logic to the side so we can really allow our soul to speak up. And that may be a weakness at times, is this cup gets in the way. Okay, this cup can also be relationship with yourself, Gemini, needing to learn more about you, who you are, what you truly want, what you desire. It can be about self-love. And I feel like you need to put you first instead of selfishness at times, or maybe not calling anyone out here. Maybe it's about getting selfish, right? Whether it's about getting selfish with your love and your time, because I just feel like there's some sort of introspection here that holds you back when you know it's time to move forward. Now, the current situation here is the Six of Swords in reverse. So again, time to go, right? We're seeing this all over the place. Now, this is mental. This is swords. This is you. This is about needing change, but for whatever reason, you're reluctant to make this change. Okay, and that may be because of the weakness, maybe because your heart is still very much attached, very much connected to something external. When that's your weakness, we need to go internally and really evaluate what's best for us. With the head and the heart kind of set to the side in a way, how can we expand and be flexible, right? There's your flexibility card, and allow the universe, allow our soul to navigate our path. This is a very intense reading here, Gemini. So a lot of you, this is all about needing this change, but how do we walk away from it? Well, this is your strength here. Three of Wands. Three of Wands is about notable growth. That's how you are going to know. This is very important information coming through here, Gemini. How you are going to know is soul's growth. Because if you're in a situation where you're not growing, then you're not, you're not growing. I was going to try to say here, it's almost like not going, not growing. Okay, if you're not moving, and this has been a big key theme showing up for a lot of signs, is stagnant water, right? What happens when, the water's not flowing? We want to drink from the springs, right? The spring water. We want to drink from something that's flowing and it's clean and it's vibrant and it's healthy. We don't want to drink from that cesspool of bacteria and germs that's been puddled, right? And it's been growing bacteria. And this is about you continuing to move forward. And if you're seeing noticeable growth, then keep making those steps. But sometimes we stay in an energy where there is no growth, Gemini, and that's what the purpose is here. The purpose is to notice when you are growing and when you are staying in a situation that is comfortable or it's stagnant, and when to move on. And that's your purpose here in whatever situation this may be: health, job, love, maybe even life purpose. This could be a big key theme, a big life theme for you. But your strength is noticeable growth, and you have grown so very much. You've overcome a lot in your life, Gemini, and you have shifted your frequency and your vibration. So you've already done this before. You've already had to maybe walk away from situations or walk towards, right? We want to say walk towards your, your blessings, your happiness, or at least allow yourself to open up enough to receive them with this yin energy. Because maybe so many times you've lived and led with maybe your masculinity or your femininity, right? But there's a balance between both of them that needs to be integrated into your world. So for those of you that are constantly action oriented or doers, right? And you're all about the productivity or all about being nonstop, maybe that's a masculine trait that needs to kind of rein in to allow more of that feminine receptive energy of creativity and nurturing and self-care and allowing yourself to just be, right? So I like your strength here because the Three of Wands is about making choices and having a return on the investment based on those choices that you've made. This is also the card of patience. It's the card of your hard work. And when you set your mind to something, Gemini, there's nothing that you cannot accomplish. But also recognize that sometimes we can let our resistance or our ego at times want something so bad that we keep chasing after it or we keep going towards it, where that's where I want you to take a step back and say, okay, am I actually receiving that return? And that return would be noticeable growth. And if there's not, then maybe it's time to pivot or course correct. Excuse me, what's the purpose? All right. The purpose here of the situation, Queen of Swords, Libran energy. It is in reverse here. So it can be thinking with emotion. And we just talked about that here for you as well. And sometimes the purpose here is to maybe get into that heart space of self-love or unconditional love. What's the backup or the secondary purpose here for you? What do we have? Thank you, Spirit. Is the Four of Swords. Four of Swords. There's something you're trying to heal within your heart. We see that here because we don't want to shut down. And I say this often, and this has been another phrase showing up more and more, is we can either become better or we can become bitter. And you're recognizing that within you. So when the Queen of Swords shows up, some of you may be thinking too much in your emotions that may be convoluting or blocking your soul's journey, your soul's path. Like I said with that meme, right? The head starts talking, the heart says, follow me, right? And the soul is like, shh, you're overthinking, you're overhearting things, right? And I feel like it's very important that you find balance within those two, because they can be beautiful partners in collaboration here on earth. That's part of what we're here to do, is to manifest based on our beliefs, right? Based on our emotions and our feelings. But when they get all wonky and they get all one-sided, it throws us off track. And the Four of Swords says that you have the opportunity to heal from a situation and to move on because you've grown. So this is about earning a sense of rest, okay? Balancing that strategic, logical thinking and balancing the heart and finding the love between both of them. Finding that self-love to, yes, trust your heart, but trust your head as well. So again, it kind of keeps going back to the head and heart. And right now I feel like the two of them are going crazy. They're going in opposite directions. It feels like your head's not on the same page with your heart. You have beliefs that are, pulling your heart in one direction, where it feels very imbalanced. And Gemini, this is a very important time for you to rest, because the main purpose here is to not shut down or not to overwhelm yourself. Otherwise, you're going to burn yourself out. I'm also getting don't burn the candle from both ends, right? It could be burning the candle at both ends. This is about finding ways to be honest and truthful with yourself, because the Queen of Swords, she can be an off with your head queen, right? If you lie to her, she'll listen to you. She'll listen to you only to see if what she knows, which is the truth, right? Or she thinks it's her truth, if it aligns with your truth. Right? And if not, there's going to be hell to pay. And the Queen of Swords, I feel like this could be your energy or someone that you're dealing with, where there needs to be a healing around maybe some sort of deception, some sort of betrayal, or even self-deception in oneself. Because the purpose here is to heal from a situation where there was maybe a lack of emotion or too much emotional energy, and it kind of came in and trumped everything. And I feel like that's why the truth is showing up here. Some of you could even be dealing with legalities. If this is work as well, this can be a police officer, journalist, a law law advisor, a teacher, or a mentor, someone who's going to come in and lay down the law in a sense. And I feel like it's about you not bending the truth, not being flexible in the truth, because that's not what the flexibility card is here, but it's about you allowing all those things that feel a little bit sticky in that energy to become more clear. That's the purpose. What's the lesson to be learned here? What do we have for the lessons to be learned? 3 of Cups. Okay, excessive expectations for some of you. This is about going to extremes with your emotions, right? What do we do when we have an overabundance of, cups? We can overdrink, overeat. We can numb our feelings. We can suppress them, right? We need to find the balance here within these 3 cups, because otherwise it can get quite excessive. And it can also be the energy of excessive partying. It could be a love triangle, or even feeling left out. For some of you, this is a lesson around third party energy. Third party doesn't always have to be, cheating or infidelity. Some of you it is. But it can also be about you feeling like you're not always on the outside kind of looking in. You want to be a choice, or you want to be one that's able to balance up and celebrate gleefully with others, with friends. You want to feel like you're on the same page, not that one of you is always up here and one of you is always down here. There needs to be that balance. And if this is emotions within you, same goes. You don't want to constantly feel like you're up here and down here, but emotions are never the same, right? We could wake up tomorrow and be in a completely happy mood, and the next day our emotions could be the complete opposite. But not allowing yourself to kind of stay in some sort of maybe haunting energy with the 5 of Cups, allowing ourselves to stay in that energy of letting yourself attach to a specific emotion, not knowing how to get out of it. Therefore, that's why maybe there's excessive tendencies that show up, or a belief that stems from something that may have happened in the past here. This is a big lesson, Gemini. And look at this. You have the 3 of Cups in your lesson, and in your strength, you have the 3 of Wands. To walk away from a situation where there's no growth. If something is too much, if it's excessive here, as mentioned, I feel like it's about you moving forward and surrounding yourself with people who you want to be like, who inspire you. Paying attention to the music that you listen to, podcasts, what you're watching on TV, paying attention to the friends that you surround yourself with, because I'm hearing, and this is interesting as well, some of you may already know this, you've heard this, misery loves company. And with the 5 of Cups showing up here, and you actually have the Emperor in reverse and the 10 of Swords, wow. So after some sort of ending, some of you may have been dealing with someone who was definitely an ineffective ruler, or they were on a power play, a power struggle, could have even been very abusive with their power, narcissistic even. You're going to lift that anguish. And once you do, Gemini, you have the Sun. Wow, you have the Sun, which is very powerful. So the lesson here at hand is to notice when you're growing and when you're not, and to move on. Now, desires, hopes, and fears. You want to be an honest person. You want other people to be honest with you, right? You want to get over some sort of betrayal. You want to get over some sort, or heal from some sort of deception, whether it was self-deception or, again, someone else deceiving you. That is your hope, to move past that. The fear is, what if I just can't get over this? What if I stay ruminating in this energy my whole life, or in this whole relationship? Or what if I'm not truly honest with myself about what I want to do for a living, and I stay in this job that I really don't love? So there's a lot of hopes and fears happening here, but because you have that 4 of Swords in your purpose, you will heal, Gemini. You will heal from a situation that's caused a lot of pain, a lot of disappointment, and a lot of heartache. Another lesson here is to celebrate your wins, okay? The Three of Cups, when it's in the upright, it can be the card of responsible celebration, right? You get that raise, you celebrate with the people that you love or your coworkers. You pass that test, you want to share the news. You have maybe a new child entering into the family, or a new birth, or a new wedding announcement. You want to celebrate with those that you love. But when it becomes a never-ending celebration to just numb some emotions, that's when it becomes excessive. All right, and that could pertain to alcohol. It can be weed. It can be sex. It can be shopping. It could be activity online, right? Social media. It can be gaming. Nothing wrong with certain things in moderation. But if you are overindulging or going to extremes to check out or to, avoid feeling certain things, then that's a whole different story. Or maybe you yourself have been feeling responsible for other people that go to extremes, when you're realizing, Gemini, it's not your responsibility to fix or heal anyone, right? It's our job to be the high vibrational beings that we are, to help, uplift the planet, right? As they say, when you heal, we heal. But you don't have to drag or lower your vibration. Well, not drag, but lower your vibration to meet someone. We don't want to lower ourselves or lower our standards or lower our life happiness because of someone else that's not willing to do the work, or it's not their time to grow. That's a big message here. What you don't know, Gemini, what you don't know. Oh, I love this. Look at it. You have the Strength card. Powerful, because the strength is the only thing that can overcome the devil, even though we don't see the devil here. But we do see the Seven of Swords, which is the devil's cousin. So it tells me that at one point or another, the devil was present. What you don't know is that your strength is going to override any challenge, setback, or lack of healing that you still are working through or progressing. This is about unquestioned confidence here. And you have the Five of Wands in reverse, which is all about resolving conflict. So you may not know it. You may not be able to see it yet. Five of Wands, yes, there was friction. Yes, there was a time where you've exhausted your resources and you wanted to give up, right? But what you don't see here is that you are unwavering in your strength. This is one of my favorite strength cards. You can see that this guy has a prosthetic leg, and he is not only walking on the beach, which for those of you who've ever ran or walked on the beach, right, it can be difficult because you're sinking in the sand, and it's more momentum. It takes more energy. So not only is he walking, he is running, full on running with a prosthetic leg. That takes some stamina. That takes some strength. If he can do it, you can do it. So Gemini, whatever you felt like you couldn't do, the strength is saying, oh, Gemini, yes, you can. And it's actually going to help you release some conflict. It's going to allow you to resolve the friction and the conflict that whatever this has been for you. Now, advice to achieve your hopes and desires. What's the advice here? Nine of Coins in the upright, the Hanged Man, and the Five of Coins. I love this. Look at that. First of all, recovering your sense of stability. Five of Coins in reverse is you coming out of maybe a major health crisis or a health concern, a major loss, job loss it could have been, a relationship loss. This is you recovering again and finding more balance. I like that it's showing up in the Five of Coins because it means that that's what you are letting go of. That's what you're walking away from. And for some of you, you felt like you were going to be in this forever with the Temperance card, right? But you are stepping forward. You are building a new foundation or a new platform on the foundation that you've already built. The Hanged Man is about a rewarded sacrifice. So when the Hanged Man shows up, you are going through spiritual enlightenment, Gemini. And we go through these spiritual enlightening moments many times throughout our life. That's a good thing. But sometimes the Hanged Man keeps us, it feels like we are stuck in a situation when really we're not. We have that that again, soul guidance. But sometimes we need to see things from a new perspective. When the head and the heart are entangled and they're fighting with each other and they're not on the same page, it really causes a lot of resistance and delay. And instead of you feeling like you're going to get an empty reward because that's what it felt like in the past, this is saying here that you will be rewarded for some sort of sacrifice that you have gone through. And what's the reward? 9 of coins. Independence versus codependence. This is about you creating a life that you love, Gemini, and that you are proud of. It can be the card of individual achievement. It's the card of wealth, safety, security, self-sufficiency, being able to stand on your own 2 feet, right? It's the card of achieving your goals and feeling content and feeling proud of yourself, right? Proud of yourself because you've continued to build upon the foundation of life here on earth. And you got through some hard times, right? You've gone through a lot of this hardship. The 5 of coins can be a scary card for a lot of people because it does mean that, yes, and remember that in the very beginning, we were getting that Matchbox 20 song. I feel like, yeah, it is about you being able to have a prosperous victory because something may have been a little bit unfulfilled in the past because of that 7 of Swords. That's why it was unfulfilled. And your greatest strength here, 3 of Wands, continue moving forward and don't let your emotions get the best of you. Don't let yourself get so depleted that you don't have enough to give or you don't have enough to stay open, right? Don't let anything of the past come in and define you where you can't open up your heart to new beginnings, to new opportunities or new blessings that I certainly see coming in for you, Gemini. That is what I have for your bonus February 2024. If it does resonate, please hit that thumbs up button. Feel free to share, like, subscribe, and hit that bell. And thank you so very much, Gemini, for tuning in. Till next time.